How many times have you known something was wrong, off, and talked yourself out of it? Be honest. Not the dramatic ones, the quiet ones. The something is off about him or her, and you explained it away. The job you took anyway. The friend you kept making excuses for. You felt it early. You always feel it early. And then you told yourself you were overthinking. Here's what I want you to sit with tonight. And I'm only going to say it once because I love you too much to soften it. You were not overthinking. You knew it. You have always known. The only thing you ever get wrong is how long you make yourself wait before you believe yourself. And I think I know why. So let's talk about it. Because this one's costing you more than you realize. So let me tell you what that thing actually is. The one you keep calling overthinking, or anxiety, or being too much. It's not a feeling, it's intelligence. It's your mind reading a room and handing you the answer before you can even explain how you got there. That's why it shows up before the proof does. It's not guessing, it's recognizing. You have seen this before, and some part of you knows exactly where it goes. You don't have a discernment problem. Your read is accurate. You have years of receipts proving it. What you have is a trust problem. You treat the smartest thing about you like the least reliable voice in the room. And I want to show you exactly how you got there because once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Welcome back to Become Her, a hot rich girl summer, richer in self, richer in peace, in confidence, in beauty, richer in discernment. And every week, we are focusing on one thing that gets us closer to her. Today, we're talking about discernment. So let's talk about why your discernment was never wrong and how to put it back in charge. Here's something nobody tells us women, and it's going to land a little hard. Everybody is losing their minds over AI right now. We type a question into a little box and trust the answer in 2 seconds flat. And meanwhile, you have been carrying the most advanced intelligence on earth your whole life, and you treat it like it's a guess. Your discernment is your AI. It's been training on your life. Every room you walk into, every face that did not match its words. Every time something didn't add up for 20, 30, 40 years. So think about the last person you knew was lying before you could prove it. You did not have the evidence. You had a read. And you were right. You're always right. You just made yourself wait for the receipt. And here's the part that should make you a little angry, in a good way. You trust a chatbot in 2 seconds, and you interrogate your own knowing for 2 weeks. There's no expert on your life, no friend, no panel, no stranger with better information than the woman who has actually lived it. You're not the amateur in the room. You're the one everyone else is guessing next to. So stop shrinking your own intelligence and making room for somebody else's opinion on your life. So if you're good at reading the truth, why do you keep overriding it? 2 habits, and I need you to stay with me. You override your discernment because you reach for diplomacy. Your gut hands you a clean, sharp read. And before you act on it, you soften it. You round off every edge that might make somebody uncomfortable and tell What's left is gentle enough that nobody has to feel it. And you tell yourself you're just being kind. Because here's the hard truth. Some of you are not being kind. You are avoiding conflict. And you have renamed avoidance maturity. You've been calling it grace, calling it being the bigger woman. And all that time, you were just afraid of what happens when you tell the truth out loud. And some of you are so committed to being understood in life that you'll spend an hour explaining a boundary you only need 10 seconds to set. That is not communication. That is negotiation. Now hear me, because I'm not telling you to go be cold. Warmth was never the problem. You can be warm and honest. You can be soft and accurate. The most powerful women I know do both. They tell you the truth. Your knowing shows up clear and immediate. And instead of moving on it, you take it to a vote. You text 3 friends, you poll the group chat, you sleep on it, you wait to see if anyone else feels what you already feel before you let yourself believe it. You're not missing any information. You have more than anyone alive on this because it's your life. The people you've been polling, they've got a fraction of your data and none of your history. And they will not be the ones living with what happens next. You are asking people who know less to confirm what you already know about. That's backwards. And every single time you do it, you teach yourself one quiet, corrosive little lesson. What I know doesn't count until somebody else agrees. Do that for 20 years, and you end up exactly where I find so many brilliant women, frozen. Not because she can't tell what's true, because she's trained herself to need a second opinion, a second signature before she's allowed to move. You don't need a signature. Now, talk to the people you trust, of course, but notice the order. Hear yourself first. Name your own answer first, and then go get counsel to sharpen your decision, not to be handed permission to have one. There's a world of difference between a woman who consults and a woman who outsources. Be the one who consults. So, how do you start trusting her again? That voice you keep overruling. Knowing isn't enough. I have 3 small things you can start today. 1, say it before you give it away. The second, your knowing speaks, name it out loud or put it in a note on your phone. My read is no. My read is that something is off there. Naming it makes it real before anyone can talk you out of it. You are putting your own intelligence on record first, for once. That one habit will rebuild more trust in yourself than 100 affirmations because it's proof, not a slogan. 2, take one honest step. You do not need to be sure. You will almost never feel 100% certain. And you don't have to. Just take one true step towards what you already know. One question asked. One boundary spoken. One, let me get back to you, instead of an anxious yes. You do not have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt to act on it. It already met the standard. The standard was you knew. 3, this is the one that changes everything. Get quiet enough to actually hear her. Your knowing is precise, but she's quiet. She cannot outshout a life that's loud all day long. This is why I keep my stillness practice. Not to float away, just to clear the noise so that the real thing comes through. 5 minutes, meditation, no phone. One honest question. What do I already know here that I keep talking myself out of? And then, this is the hard part. You let her answer, and you do not argue. You do not build the case for why she's wrong. You just listen the way you would listen to the wisest woman you know. Because love, in that room, she's you. That's it. Say it, step towards it, get quiet enough to hear it. No performance, no war with anybody, just a woman who finally stopped arguing with herself. The woman who finally trusts herself isn't colder. She's not at war with anybody. She's just done living a step behind her own mind. She knows, and she lets that be enough. She stops running the most advanced intelligence on earth and then asking the room whether she's allowed to believe it. That is the whole thing this season is asking of you. Not to become somebody new, to stop overruling the woman who has been right this entire time. So, one thing this week, just one, the next time your knowing speaks, honor her once. Do not soften it into diplomacy. Do not take it to a vote. Do not wait until you're sure. Name it and take one honest step. And then I want you to feel something you maybe haven't felt in years. What it is like to fully and completely agree with yourself. Then come tell me. One word in the comments. What is your knowing trying to tell you right now that you keep talking yourself out of? One word. I read every single one. I'm Saria Nicole. Remember who you are. You were never wrong about what you saw. You were just waiting for permission to believe yourself. Stop waiting. It was always yours.
But somewhere along the road, I felt the shift. The days turn heavy like an unseen rift. The girl that I was began to fade. And in her